we've got these disgusting Seattle Seahawks just chirping about our sweet baby Marvin Harrison Jr. Is he going to put the league on notice next year and make those sea chickens shut up, Johnny Venerable?
Yeah, they do need to shut up. And I'm going to tell you who else needs to shut up. Those of us who, those people who tell us that we're not going to talk about cap casualties for the Arizona Cardinals. We're chopping wood on this Football Friday. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your number one premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Welcome, friends. Happy Valentine's Day. Johnny Venerable, Brack, Studio K, living well. Damon, Dawg is back as swole as ever. I'm swole using our friends at Bet365, the presenting sponsor for today. Download the Bet365 app. Use the bonus code PHNX365. Find out why. Whatever the offer, it's never ordinary. No football this weekend, but of course, we're on the Bet365 app scene. We're on this Valentine's Day Friday scene, Brack.
Oh, well, all of you out there in the chat, will you be my Valentine? Will you? Will you take this rose? Will you be my Valentine? Will you be PHNX Cardinals Valentine today? You know, it's kind of gross that we're going to get into people we could part ways with here on this this Lover's Day of Valentine's Day. But here we are. Look, sometimes we have to put on the gloves. Sometimes we have to get the mop and bucket out and get dirty. And that's what we're going to have to do to free and clear some space for the Arizona Cardinals to do some damage. And we can break our fasts, our respective fasts, come free agency.
Yeah, in the famous words of one of our dear friends on the show, Tate McRae, I'm sorry, Damon, that you love me here on a Football Friday. What do you think about that? You a Tate McRae fan?
I am a Tate stan. I love hearing that 2 minutes into a PHNX Cardinals podcast.
I wasn't expecting it. I certainly wasn't expecting it. Do you see Tate McRae predict the final score of the Super Bowl?
Ball knower.
Knower of ball.
The queen of hockey, too.
She's just she's a puck head. She knows ball.
Wholesome.
Yep.
Gets it right. I would love to have Tate McRae on this show. All right. We're gonna name off some Cardinals after today who probably won't be coming on this show in some way, shape, or form. Doing some research in the lab, right? Not like Damon physically in the lab, but emotionally in the lab. Overthecap.com. In years prior, it was like you needed a disclaimer. It was like a horror show. Like before you enter the Cardinals cap situation, parental discrepancies is advised, or whatever it is. Discretion.
Yeah.
Discretion, excuse me. That's what it was like under Steve Keim. You had to go through and you had to dig yourself through the dirt to find some relief, some leeway. I want to preface all this by saying none of these players have to be cut that we're talking about today. The Cardinals, via over the cap, still have $71 million to spend before the cap goes up. So you're talking about before they even make any move, they're going to have probably $85 million in cap space. So people are going to be like, no, we should cut him or keep them in the rotation. No. Like they have some guys who we feel like need salary adjustments. But like the highest paid players on the team are the guys that Ossenfort signed last offseason.
Yeah. No, that's look, these are tough decisions that this team has to make. But as you pointed out, they've already got a nice little nest egg that they created for themselves over the past couple off seasons to be able to be big spenders this offseason. And no, I mean, Steve Keim, it was each and every offseason, it was like cleaning out your garage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, lava lamp, don't need that. Old weight set, old treadmill that's been collecting
carpet,
dust.
Get out of here.
Get all the way out of here.
Damon's VCR DVD combo. That's Justin Jones this year. Bye-bye. Sorry, that's inappropriate.
You could do a yard sale, but come on, let's be honest. Who wants this old junk? That was the offseason every time with Steve Keim. But things have changed and decisions have become tougher. AZ Cardinals now send Justin Jones and Ball Nichols to Cancun. One-way ticket. Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of Cardinal fans, not to interrupt you, Bo, who are just like, I know who needs to be off this team. And it's all the names that we talk about year round. So like, it's important to break down like the cap ramifications, but like outside of Mack Wilson Sr., most people, and this is not a good omen for Monti Ossenfort, would just do away with last year's free agency class.
I mean, yeah, Evan Brown, I think, served a really solid purpose. Right. He played left guard, but he's an impending free agent. You know, it makes your decision a little bit easier now. Now you have to see, like, does a number make sense to bring back versatile interior lineman?
Yep.
But yeah, outside of Brown and Mack Wilson Sr., yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find successes from last year's class, no doubt about it. And like when we start to get into these cuts, I mean, you'll see some names that were in that class, and that's unfortunate because it does resemble a little bit of the previous regime where there wasn't the ability to really kind of find a little bit of gold from another team's garbage via free agency. And that's why I think myself included a little skeptical about your ability to find it. But I think there were more than enough teams last offseason that improved their rosters exponentially with some savvy free agent additions.
I think it would be good to kind of do a lay of the land here with this team in terms of before we jump into our list of potential cap casualties. It's important to note right now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the 7th highest paid player on this team. Paris Johnson Jr., the 9th highest paid player. Trey McBride on a rookie deal as a 2nd-round pick is within the top 12 highest paid players. So like those little gems that you would try to find under Steve Keim as you're scrolling down over the cap, those don't exist for the Cardinals. Like, are the Cardinals going to cut Clayton Tune to save $1 million? I don't know. If they cut Clayton Tune, it's going to mean he's not any good. It's not because, hey, we're strapped for cash, Clayton. We need your $1 million back, right? Same with like a John Gaines or a Ben Stilley. It's like these guys, like they're ebbing and flowing. They're rookies and vet minimum guys. There are only, let me ask you this, Bo. How many Arizona Cardinals do you believe make $4 million or more? I'm going to ask you and Damon. How many Arizona Cardinals, without looking, make $4 million or more in terms of their cap hit this year?
Kyler, for sure, right? Guys, we've been talking about Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols. I think Mack Wilson qualifies for that. Zaven, for sure. You've got the 3 first-round picks that you had between Darius, Marvin Harrison Jr., Paris Johnson Jr. So I'm at 8 right there. I'm going to say
2 safeties.
2 safeties. Yeah, good call. And James Conner.
Sean Murphy Bunting, right?
Sean Murphy Bunting. Wow. What do we got? 14?
14.
Actually?
Bingo.
Bang!
There are 53 men on the Cardinals roster. Only 14 of them make $4 million or more. On top of that, only 5 make above $10 million or more. And you could make an argument 3 of the 5 shouldn't be making it for the Arizona Cardinals. So all that to say, this cap is ever evolving. This is an open door. Now, it makes you feel good. Like, we should preface this. Trey McBride's going to get historic money. He's going to be one of the highest paid players on the team. That will not likely kick in until next year, but that's a reality. That's happening, right? But like, can you imagine? Like, Budda Baker and James Conner, their contracts kicked in. Anybody want to guess what James Conner's cap hit this year is? $6 million. Drop in the bucket. Budda Baker's making $10 million, right? Could you imagine if those guys were on the team, what it would look like? How bad of a status this would be for these other guys like Sean Murphy Bunting? I mean, Budda Baker, James Conner, essentially on like 2-year deals, making $16 million combined.
Yeah.
Unequivocally 2 of your best players. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it kind of raises the talent floor, makes that group look a little bit more appealing than it does without them. And that, I think that's what made sense for getting them under contract. So along with the Elder Frohold as well. During the regular season, they prioritized bringing those guys back because he said, okay, we're going to have, a bunch of guys that are going to be impending free agents. And we don't want to have to negotiate with, the rest of the league to keep these guys in here and then also have to continue to add talent to this roster. So now it's I think it's in a really solid place, especially like if you make these tweaks to add the talent that would be necessary for this team to stay hovering, like knocking on the door, and then maybe even, kick the door in a little bit, become a playoff team next year.
It also shows you that they can sign multiple big money players. Like there's more than enough room. It's like that Airbnb you get, like everybody's welcome, right? Cardinals salary cap, everybody come over. And it also speaks to the fact that if they ever got rid of Kyler Murray and for a rookie quarterback making no money, they would have like $150 million in cap space. They would have too much money. They wouldn't know what to do with it. Now, it's a good problem to have that you have to pay, hopefully, Paris Johnson Jr., who's jet setting around the world right now on vacation, deserving. He's in line for a contract extension after this year, deserving. Trey McBride, deserving. Hopefully, we're going to be talking about Marv the same light, maybe Michael Wilson. But right now, it's like you got the guys that were Keim holdovers that have stuck around, Buddha, Jalen Thompson for now, and James Conner and Kyler Murray. And then you've got the free agent signings that have been meh, that don't make a lot of money. And then you've got the rookies. That's the Cardinals salary cap as a whole. We're going to break it down coming up next. Cut candidates, how much they're making, how much the Cardinals can save, and what their final number could be ahead of free agency. That's coming up. I'll tell you where you don't have to cut corners to save money is with our friends at Circle K. It's America's thirst stop. Right now, join the Inner Circle for free. You don't have to pinch pennies at Circle K. They're going to hook you up. Arizona Cardinals could take their robust salary cap and damn near buy up everything at Circle K. So easy to download. It's right now available to you. Enter your phone number, your email address to be fully enrolled. After that, all you need is your phone number to get the deals on deals. And man, the deals are elite. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents per gallon. Every single day is your savings after the fact. So you're always saving money. Go to the Inner Circle section of the Circle K app right now. Go to the deals. And I'm telling you right now, perfect time, especially in this economy. Find ways to save money on things like member exclusive deals, discounts, and more. Snacks, drinks, Polar Pops, whatever you want. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details, Bo.
What are your plans tonight? You going out? Maybe taking your partner out for a nice little dinner, Valentine's Day. You're going to have a couple pops, couple drinks, maybe glasses of wine. Getting on the road, traveling, take that worry out of it. Get and download the Waymo One app today. Download, request it, get that ride. I love it. Waymo got me to and from the airport when we were doing our trip to the Super Bowl, and I am converted. I love Waymo. I am a Waymo shill the rest of the way. And look, they're here in Phoenix. They're here in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and they've done over 150,000 trips. Like, I had no worries at all. I just kicked my feet up and was just scrolling on my phone while I got to the airport, because Waymo, it takes all the heavy lifting out of there. I mean, Waymo is a company that served a fully autonomous ride with no human behind the wheel since 2015, and Waymo has over 40 million miles of real-world driving experience. That's enough to drive to the moon and back, not once, not twice, but 80 times they could have made that trip. Download the Waymo One app today and ride today.
Love our friends at Waymo. Can't wait to try it out en route to Indy. We're going to be in Indianapolis in just a couple of weeks at the famous NFL Combine, where the Cardinals are hoping to find the next Paris Johnson Jr., MHJ, and more. Those rookies, hit that like, by the way. There's our friend Trey McBride. Once upon a time, tore up the Combine. I'll never forget. He was at the Senior Bowl with my dear friend. Were you there with Saul Bookman?
I wasn't with the company yet.
Yeah, we had Bo was he had made his debut on PHNX Cardinals. And I remember Saul Bookman and Shane Diefenbach did a live hit from the Senior Bowl. And Saul said, Trey McBride's really good at football. And I was like, we don't need a tight end. We got Zach Ertz. We're set, baby. Not very smart. Not a smart thing to say. Is it smart to pivot off these players? Again, we teased it right now via overthecap.com. Arizona Cardinals, $71 million in cap space. What that means right now, they are fourth in the NFL, only behind the Patriots, Raiders, and the Commanders. The common denominator with those three teams are not paying any quarterbacks yet. Cardinals, even with Kyler Murray, they have that much. That means they need to add talent and in free agency. So, Bo, without further ado, our cut candidates here this offseason. Damon, Dawg, let's take a look at them. And we got 4. And again, doesn't mean they're happening, but they're all post June 1st, the biggest savings that we could find. Bo, get us started with our guy, Jonah Williams.
Yeah, Jonah Williams is just unfortunate, right? As much as they could afford it, they need somebody to come in and play right tackle to start the season next year. And they don't really have anybody on the roster. No offense to Christian Jones. I thought he did well against the 49ers in the finale, but that's not exactly facing the live ammunition that you're going to go through, the rest of the regular season. That was just a throwaway week 18 game. And Jonah Williams, I wouldn't expect him to be ready. And it's very similar to the DJ Humphries injury that he suffered before the end of the 2023 season. Yeah. And, Monti Ossenfort is not going to just be, a nice guy. This is a business to him, and it just doesn't make sense to take on that salary, $16 million cap hit for somebody that's not going to play downs for them next season or be really available to them for the most part, when he could reallocate that money towards going and finding the solution at right tackle, even though they like Jonah Williams. So if you cut Jonah Williams, you're probably your top free agent signing last year. You get that $16 million cap hit down to about $6 million that you would take in dead money, and you get $10 million on top of the cap that you already have in place. So now you're really got a lot of money to spend, close to 80.
I mean, you can sign a new starting right tackle for $10 million. They front loaded most of Jonah Williams' money. So he's just got 1 year left. I mean, it's last year and this year, and he had a void year in year 3. So this is it. And to Bo's point, you're not carrying a guy just because you committed to him. This is a cutthroat business. And by the way, you're going to give him $6 million to not play for you this year. And if he's healthy, August, September, October, he can go sign with whomever he wants. Cardinals will be like, thanks. They have to go through the offseason with their starter at right tackle, right? Yeah. They can't wait. And they'll have options, right? Kelvin Beacham's an option. Could they reunite with a DJ Humphries if he wants to play? There are a ton of options. I'm just throwing names out there at random. I do think they need to add a vet who they're comfortable with that could start games. But then this also does feel like the draft class within the first 3 rounds that they try to find a right tackle of the future, whether it's the kid out of Ohio State in the first round, kid out of Minnesota later, the U of A product that can play guard or right tackle. Go and find a right tackle to develop long-term, because not everybody's Yelda Froholt that can play through injury and that's an Iron Man. Will Hernandez got hurt. I mean, free agents, it's a roll of the dice. And Jonah Williams, gets hurt against Buffalo. Cardinals reinserted him at the end of the year. I will stick by this opinion. I thought it was a mistake. I know a lot of people, including my host, thought you're paying him. He's an upgrade. Kelvin Beachum was playing lights out for the Cardinals. I think you just needed to ride the hot hand. And it's unfortunate that he came back and got hurt again. I mean, the offense, fair or not to him, was never good when he was at right tackle. And that's not an indictment of him, but the best offensive performance that the Cardinals had this year came with 68 at right tackle, not Jonah Williams. So I would be surprised if Beachum wants to play. You better go get Kelvin Beachum tomorrow. Bring him back. Let him be the starter in the offseason. He's a consummate pro. I mean, he's aged incredibly well at the position. So, and then go draft a rookie to play behind him.
And what's great about Grandpa is he's got the ability to be just an incredible mentor. If you talk to anybody in that room, even though a guy like Paris Johnson Jr. came in and basically supplanted Kelvin Beachum in his starting position, Beach was a bit more than gracious as far as teaching him the ropes at the NFL level. Now, PJ had also DJ Humphries and another cast of veterans, but Beach is right in there, and he's going to teach you, the ins and outs, not even just on the playing field, but the life of an NFL player. And yeah, I think that would be just an easy re-signing. As Beach said, he got the go-ahead, the green light from his wife at the end of last season that he could come back. So 35-year-old Calvin Beachum, we at least maybe just check that box, and we got somebody that is serviceable that can play. But I think just, to kind of wrap this Jonah conversation up, he's not going to be available to you. It's too large of a cap number to just take on for somebody that you might get, later next season. Let's keep it going here with Cardinals cap casualties. What do we have next? Is it
it's Jalen Thompson?
Yeah.
I mean,
Jalen Thompson. Go ahead. Yeah.
Trade candidate. I mean, Bo, let's start with that, because a lot of people feel like a trade could be an option for Jalen Thompson. But then you look at that cap hit, Bo, I'd ask you, how many teams are paying $14 million to take on a safety? I mean, Deebo Samuel's about to get cut by the 49ers. That came out today. Yeah. I don't know what Deebo's making per year. I know it's not 13.7 million, but still it's like, it's tough when you're playing a position like that, and you got Justin Simmons, who's a free agent last summer and can't find a job, and it's Cardinals. I mean, they got a really tough decision to make. I can't get an answer on what they're going to do, because JT was fantastic 2 years ago. Then he was hurt last year, played through pain. He's tough as hell. It's a numbers game. Taylor Demerson has to play. He has to. Budda Baker forced the issue, was re-signed. For a team that needs everything but safety help and could allocate that $10 million somewhere else, I don't know. It's a really tough spot. Like, if the Cardinals are like, man, we want to sign Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, or we want to sign Milton Williams and Trey Smith, where's that money at? You got to have more money. And it's like a surplus, right? They have a surplus at safety.
Mm-hmm. He's in his prime. That's really what he has going for him. And I think the ability to really kind of rebound for last season, where he had nagging injuries throughout.
Yeah, he wasn't.
But when you see that he carries a top 10 at his position cap hit, and you've just been looking around the league, and you look at just the status of the safety position, there have just been organizations that have chosen to get younger at the position, get cheaper at the position, and they decided to re-up with Budda Baker, which is the right move.
Yep.
And it becomes very tough to pay two top 10 paid safeties on the same roster. So, and you're looking for some snaps, as you said, for the 4th round pick out of Texas Tech in Rabbit Taylor Demerson. So it becomes very uncomfortable. But at the same time, Gannon has the ability to become a kingmaker at the position. He's got a ton of respect for Jalen Thompson, but as far as the business side of this, and if Monti Ossenfort, I think, is just seeing where maybe he could save some cap space. I mean, it's too much to overlook.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest cap savings the team has, frankly, this offseason. Like Jonah Williams, you can save the same amount, but you've got more dead money. I mean, Jalen's played this. What is he, in a contract year? Or he's almost in a contract year. Like, he's played out a lot of his deal. No, he's got 2 years left. So this year and next year. So it's
26 is a void year.
Yeah. So this is basically it. So for a defense that I think is really talented and young on the back end, but has to infuse money up front, it's got to come from somewhere. And you're not paying Max Melton yet. You're not paying Taylor Demerson, and you're not paying Garrett Williams yet. That is coming, right? Like,
yeah,
this is the time to go and splurge in free agency to get defensive linemen. Like, as much as I love JT, how many times this year it's like we can't get any pressure, and 3 safeties that were all talented, where you only were playing 2 of them, that doesn't help you. You got to figure out like what Philly does the best, and Kansas City. These teams maximize their cap space so that everybody is fed, right? Look at the Niners roster. I know they're taking in the teeth now, but when they went to the Super Bowl, Deebo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, both linebackers got paid. The safety they're paying everybody but Brock Purdy. The Cardinals don't want to be a team that pays all of just one position, right? They want to disperse it. And they've missed 2 off seasons in a row. You have to get serious, and serious signings require serious money. And these guys, you're just gonna have to take some from people. That's just my opinion. I love Jalen Thompson, the person and the player, I don't know if it fits where they're at right now.
Yeah, I agree with Rafa here, man. I just don't think any team's going to trade for safety. I saw somebody say the Broncos should come get him because of the connection to VJ. The Broncos have $34 million in cap space. That would be a third of their open cap space.
Yeah.
You just don't. And the Broncos already made a tough decision to part ways with a guy like Justin Simmons, who was making about the same amount of money.
And he was a fan favorite there.
He was. And he was a guy that was taking away the football at almost one of the highest rates at that position. I mean, I do, but I can see a reality, a very realistic reality where, they see that he's in the final year of his deal. They've got enough cap money to do what they want. And JT plays, to the end of his deal, and then maybe can rework something to stay. But, then you start to look at, the snaps at that position after getting the really talented player in the day 3 pick in Rabbit. So
you also can't, real quick, Bo, look past the fact your head coach is a DB safety kingmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody doubt that Gannon could go find another safety in the second or day 2 or day 3 of the draft? Did any of us know who Taylor Demerson was? Barely. Oh, this guy's going to be a star. He's going to be a star for the Cardinals.
Yeah, you'd love to see an uptick in the snap count. Let's keep it going here. This is where it gets interesting with last year's free agents. Justin Jones, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and DJ Dallas, Johnny. So Justin Jones carries the largest cap hit at $11 million. And these are all, as you mentioned, post June 1st cuts. You would save $3 million, but you absorb $8 million as far as dead cap goes. So Justin Jones, I mean, it would be a move to create space and get that logjam freed up a little bit at the position group to just add more talent at defensive line than what you have right now.
I think if you're asking me, are these guys going to be on the team? I would lean yes for all 3 of them. Number one, I don't think it's a good look for Ossenfort to sign players and then cut them next year. I think it undersells him to Michael Bidwell and then future free agents, right? But here's what I will say. Of all 3 of these players, I think Sean Murphy-Bunting has the best case to stay because he did the one thing nobody else did last year. He took the ball away. He led the team in interceptions. And I think with a better pass rush next year, maybe he can be what they aspired him to be. I mean, the Cardinals said, it's hard to evaluate. They had no pass rush. Here's the player that I have the least sympathy for, Justin Jones, who's making $10 million and didn't play last year. I'm sorry. Justin Jones is the 4th highest paid Cardinal this year. Let's go through Justin Jones's hits as an Arizona Cardinal. Oh, it's over. I don't have any. They don't exist, right? So I know a lot of people out there.
One hit?
No,
not even a one-hit wonder?
Nothing. His press conference, probably that's about it. Justin Jones, to me, if you can upgrade, because a lot of people are like, well, what about Bilal Nichols? Bilal Nichols, if you cut him, there is no benefit. Bilal Nichols right now, his base salary is about $7-8 million. Post June 1st cut, you save about $100,000 and you're taking on $8 million in dead cap. Like Bilal Nichols isn't going anywhere. And so Justin Jones, to me, it's like, okay, this was a guy who was supposed to play, couldn't play last year, right? He was already a skeptical run defender. He was supposed to come in and pressure the quarterback. He's coming off major injury. You get some cap relief. If they feel like there are a couple defensive linemen that they want to target in both free agency and the draft, I'm not letting Justin Jones and his bloated cap hit stand in the way of that. You want to go and get a Milton Williams, and then you like a developmental 2nd or 3rd round D tackle in this class to go with Darius. Look what the Philadelphia Eagles did. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams. There's guys I'm not even naming, right? If you're trying to do that and this guy is just kind of a log jam taking up space, get rid of him. I'm over it.
Already had Fletcher Cox on that defensive line. I mean, who was already long established there. But I think Justin Jones, though, like you wouldn't even have to do like post June 1st. I think you get through free agency. You take some swing at some of the top players there, like Osa or Milton Williams.
Yep.
And then if you don't hit there, then you really lean into the strength of this draft.
Yeah.
Where they've got 41 defensive tackles coming to the combine that they have deemed, NFL caliber and guys who are in top 100 picks. And you lean into that, the Walter Nolans of the world. Who's the guy that we love, Dan Walker.
Yeah.
Just
Get out of Oregon.
There's 10 of them. There's 10 of them. Yeah, Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
That you would take, and then like you literally like you could even let Justin Jones compete for a roster spot, and then it legitimately be a post June 1st cut.
It's a good comment from Brian here. It's not cap space; it's the roster spot for Nichols and Jones, and it's like you're gonna cut Dante Stills for these guys. This is a kid who's busted his ass for 2 years and helped you survive at that position. It's not Cardinal fans' fault that they made 2 egregious D-tackle signings last year. They made this bed. They have to live with it. And you know what? If there are upgrades this offseason, the best organizations do not dwell on their mistakes. They move on. Even the great Howie Roseman passed on Justin Jefferson. Whoops, huge mistake. Gets A.J. Brown. Gets rid of the draft pick, right? This is a first-round pick? What was that guy's name? Who's the guy they took in front of Jay Jetta, Damon? Nelson Aguilar?
Rhaegar?
Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Reagor. Egregious. Terrible pick, right? Howie's like, sometimes you miss. Ossenfort, not a good free agency last year. Cut your losses. And I'm going to tell you right now, let's look at that list one more time. DJ Dallas making $3 million. Are we sure Amari DiMercato can't return kicks? Making no money? I mean, I know he had a kickoff return in week 1. Then what did he do? He made the Pro Bowl, and he's a likable guy. A 3-year deal for DJ Dallas. I'm at the point right now. It's like you can save almost $3 million. Give that money to Kelvin Beachum. Let DiMercato. You want to play on this team next year? You got to return kicks. If they take
they're not going to have a bit like they don't have an issue now with running back as far as too many guys in that room. I think DJ Dallas, they really wanted to be ready for this dynamic kickoff, and they wanted somebody to be in there, brought in experience. So they paid a little bit more for him. But like the DJ Dallas cut it shows here, like you get $2.75 million cap saving. They just don't, the amount of money you already have to spend, I don't think you're going to have to trim that much fat.
Right. No, it's fine. That's fair. But here's what I don't want to hear, Bo. We ran out of money, or we got outbid. We missed out. No, you shouldn't be outbid by anybody. If you have a target free agent and you have a number 1 free agent, like outside of quality of life, money should not factor into, I mean, do you agree with me? Money shouldn't factor into any of the Cardinals' decisions this offseason as a deterrent.
Because I think that they should be eyeing like 1 to 2 players that are going to raise what they want to do defensively, especially on the defensive side of the football or interior offensive linemen. Like I think, they should just be able to take that big swing at the plate and try to swing for the fences. I've seen pushback on Milton Williams lately on social media. I can't believe it. People are like, no, you don't want to overpay for that guy. He's a part-time player. It's like, what do you think their defensive line rotation is?
I was thinking yesterday on my off day, I watched a video of Milton Williams, and I was I think I need this guy in Arizona.
Absolutely.
I saw that video, Damon. He was pretending he had a pretend belt in his hand, pretending just to whip the opposing team.
Belt that ass.
Cardinal.
He said, I'd love to come run it back, but I need a pay raise. It's like, okay, well, let the Cardinals give you that pay raise.
Let me get the checkbook out.
People were like, he's a part-time player. I don't like that. I don't like what I've seen from his stat line. Like, did you watch his playoffs? Did you watch the Eagles play football this year?
I'll tell you what did it for me. The fact that Fran Duffy told us JG was like pumped up when Milton Williams got drafted. I mean,
contract out.
Have you seen the war room after Milton Williams? That it was the infamous non-dap of Howie Roseman's. There was some scout in the room that was just like, I don't like the pick. It's like, well, I bet that guy's doing something for a different profession at this point.
I think I saw him at TJ Maxx earlier. I love this point from Ryan. No one on that list is that important, honestly. Save for Jalen Thompson, like if those were the inactives tomorrow, I'd be like, whatever. Who's the next guy up? Whatever. Calvin, get in there. Darius, Dante Stills, get in there. Oh, wait, that was the reality.
If your outside corners were Starling Thomas and Max Melton, people would love it. People want that.
That was for part of the year.
Yeah, if it's Max Melton, then you got Garrett Williams as your slot corner and Budda Baker as your safety and Robert Taylor Demerson. You'll take that. The defensive secondary has like never been an issue. It's the defensive front where it's just like need some upgrades. And if you need to make some upgrades some unfortunate, like some people on this roster have to go.
I understand what Monty tried to do last offseason. He tried to raise the floor at certain areas, right? At corner, at D tackle, as you mentioned, trying to, revamp the kick game with the new rule, the return game. The Cardinals need star players. They don't need mid-city, right? Sometimes you need a 5-star meal, right? A lot of people Friday night go into a 5-star restaurant. What if you took a left instead of going to that 5-star restaurant with your spouse, your significant other, and it's like, hey, here's some Long John Silver. Here's some Arby's. What kind of reaction? Hey, I'm going to raise the floor of fast food game, right? Maybe upscale it just a little bit more. A lot of people think Chili's is in that category. You decide what you want, but it's going to get you full. But is it? Are you going to? Is it lasting? Is it going to give you the kind of experience that's winning? The Cardinals at the end of the year did not have star players to help them finish games. Carolina lost in overtime. Rams lost at the last play. Seattle got their ass beat twice in the fourth quarter. Minnesota Vikings couldn't finish, right? Led the entire game. That doesn't tell me I need more Sean Murphy Buntings or Justin Joneses. Sorry. I need the guy who dominated the Super Bowl. That's who I need.
But the sign of the team developing is that you're easily saying,
you're
okay,
closer.
Yeah, thank you for your service, and good luck with the rest of your career.
Here's this watch for your service. So yeah, I mean, let's get that list one more time. I want to go around the room.
Yeah,
Damon, I want to start with you. How many of these guys? Who's on the roster next year? These 5 guys.
I would bring back Sean Murphy Bunting and probably look to get rid of the rest. I think Jalen Thompson's a good football player, but Bo and I were talking before the show. It's just hard in 2025 to pay 2 safeties big money. It's hard to win that way. Teams hardly pay safeties 1 safety big money anymore. So that's the unfortunate part of the business there. But the rest of the guys, I'm not losing sleep over.
I think most of these guys can make it through. I'm hoping a defensive lineman doesn't, just from the numbers game. So I'm going to say Jonah Williams and Justin Jones are in serious in the danger zone as far as getting cut.
What was the question? What would I do, or what will happen? Because I was saying what I would want personally. But yeah, I think most of these guys will be back next year for sure.
I just don't think there's any future for Jonah Williams here.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the first 2 names on this list, it's going to be tough given the figure that is under savings. I think Justin Jones, Sean Murphy Bunting, DJ Dallas are helped by the fact that your cap savings are minimal. And Justin Jones, Sean Murphy Bunting, and DJ Dallas would get signed by other rosters. Obviously Jonah Williams and Jalen Thompson would too. You're getting $20 million. Mm-hmm. Go pay Josh Sweat $20 million. Go pay Milton Williams $20 million. Marvin Harrison Jr., people are throwing shade, certain Seahawk defenders, and we're not here for it. That's coming up. But first, hey, ahead of your big night tonight with your special somebody, why not, take inventory of your smell, of your inventory, of your hygiene, and maybe look to upgrade with the newest, the greatest from our friends at Mando. Mando is a man's best deodorant brand that's hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh. We know we want to be smelling fresh tonight, my friends. Pits, butt cracks, bellies, whatever, grundles, whatever you want. Mando's got it for you. They're going to hook you up. You want to be smiling later tonight. You want to be diving into the bourbon leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport. I'm a sport guy.
Very classy bourbon leather.
Yeah.
Drop trow, and there's just the waft of.
I was going to ad-lib there. You saved me. You saved me from just an egregious ad-lib there. Mando's starter pack, by the way, is perfect for new customers. I got a birthday coming up. I'd love if somebody gifted me some Mando starter pack. Solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choosing, like mini body wash, deodorant wipes. Ever heard of it? Plus free shipping. And again, it's a special offer for new customers right now. Everybody go do this. Go to shopmando.com, shopmando.com. We're going to get you up to 40% off your starter pack with the bonus code, you guessed it, PHNX. Support the show. Tell them PHNX Cardinals sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence with our friends at Mando. Hey, Mando.
I'm gonna pivot to my favorite pizzeria here in the Valley of the Sun, and where I might have my Valentine's plans. Don't ruin them by making me wait at Spinato's, 7th Street in Missouri. Me, my wife, my son, we're gonna head there. We're gonna get some of the best za that Arizona has to offer, and it's the best place to watch a Suns game. They've got their Phoenix Suns watch parties over at Spinato's, the official pizza of the Suns, and their watch parties feature Phoenix Suns dancers, the Gorillas, ever heard of them, big-time celebs at Spinato's watching the basketball game, and you could also get in on a game of horse, but it's not called horse at Spinato's, it's Pizza. You got to get those 5 letters or you're knocked out. You're a big fat loser. You don't want that. If you want the parties, though, you want the contest, gives fans a chance to win free Suns tickets and free pizza. Check out Spinato's. Get all the info, watch parties, pizza, basketball contests, SpinatosPizzeria.com. That's SpinatosPizzeria.com. Spinato's, the official pizza, the Phoenix Suns.
Does Spinato's have a little gabagool for your boy here? That's what I'm looking for. Where's the freaking
number one
gabagool?
Goomba? Yeah, that's right. That's Johnny V's coming in. Get some
Hang on, let me get my
Spinato's.
chain out. Hey,
Did you see Big Dom? You see the interview today where he said he had 132 tracksuits?
no, I didn't see that. That's horrifying, though. Size medium.
This guy's a hero.
Can you imagine if Johnny just switched it up, though, and all he was is just tracksuits?
Johnny's wearing Cardinals hats with Italian flags embroidered on the side of them.
Tinted lenses on my glasses. Big Dom's a big fan of those. What are those called? When you have tinted lenses on your reading glasses, he's big on those. Somebody will tell me in the chat. Yeah. You know, I've never owned a tracksuit before, ever.
Even when you were playing ball?
No. Mamma mia. Transition lenses. That's right, Tony. Transition Dom. Dom's always got like the transition blue with an all white suit. Maybe I should dress as Big Dom at the combine. Maybe I should go like one day. Hopefully not the day we get JG on, but yeah, tracksuit Johnny one day at the combine.
Just a nice PHNX tracksuit.
Yeah.
White with a little red stripe on it.
Yeah. People would be like, get this guy out of here. I'd really make my mark. Excuse me, Jackson Dart over here, man in the tracksuit. Hello. Somebody who was not at the combine last year, and we mourned it, at least publicly, Marvin Harrison Jr. en route to his rookie year. And now we fast forward to this offseason, and a certain Seahawk defensive back, Bo, throwing shade at Sweet Baby Marvin. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Do we have this from Pro Football Talk Live, PFT Live with Mike Florio and Chris Sims? It was JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's a former teammate of Marv's, and then a guy that went up against Marv for the first time this season, Devon Witherspoon.
Really don't.
Only Ohio State.
Receivers that we play.
Any other receiver though?
So it would be him.
Yeah. Garrett, was Marvin there? Did you have to deal with Marvin?
I did, but I don't think he's really. I don't think he's really more hard to guard. Like, I don't think he's that hard to guard.
Why?
Because he's a bigger receiver.
Right. Doesn't have the separation.
But I mean, he contested catches though. Like I think that's his best part about his game. It's like even when you close on and you guard him pretty well, he can make contested catches.
Right.
So it's like that's what frustrates you about him.
Yeah. Who's for you? Like who's the more annoying thing? The big guy that you might not be able to physical with, or like Garrett Wilson who can just plant and make you go all crazy ways.
So like the guys who can separate and create separation out of the line of scrimmage. Right. Those are tough ones to deal with.
Devon Weatherspoon.
JSN there, and he was just like, it's like when Johnny's going on one of his rants. If you just watch my camera, you just kind of see somebody like, you sure about that? Not that hard to guard.
What do you make of that?
I mean, I think, remember like when Seattle came for their second game against the Cardinals this season, it was at St. Philip Stadium, and they won that one as well.
Yeah.
The word was that Seattle's defense wasn't worried about Marvin Harrison Jr. They were focused on taking Trey McBride out of the game. And that's where it's like, the antenna went up and you're like, this isn't good. Like your 4th overall pick. And I don't know if it's so much an indictment on Marvin Harrison Jr., but how they didn't get him involved in the game plan to put fear in the opposition's eyes. I think it's really unfortunate. I would love for Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's fully capable of proving Devon Weatherspoon very wrong, that he's more than just a big receiver. I mean, when Damon caught up with JSN, like on the, at the Super Bowl, he's basically saying he's as far as his route running, he's one of one. He's more than just a big guy that's just going to go and out physical you for a one-on in a 50-50 ball situation.
The Cardinals played two of their worst games of the year against the Seahawks late in the year. The Seahawks dominated the Cardinals, and that goes beyond Marvin Harrison Jr. Like you want Marvin to be the differentiator in those matchups, but like Trey McBride got his. He had about 200 yards in 2 games total against the Seahawks. Everybody else, trash. I mean, the Cardinals could not run the ball well in that first matchup. James Conner a little bit better in the second matchup, but it was garbage time. Kyler Murray was atrocious in both games. I thought Michael Wilson probably warranted more targets, but the Seahawks owned the Cardinals this year. They dominated them, and there was no continuity or consistency in the passing game, and that was a big part. Leonard Williams, the Cardinals chose not to sign him. And very similar to what Aaron Donald used to do to Kyler Murray, like he owned Kyler Murray those 2 games. And so, on top of all the other struggles that they were having with the continuity with him and MHJ, it made it 10 times worse. So, Devon Weatherspoon's an elite corner. I hate to say it, but he went to University of Illinois. He should have probably gone to a bigger school, a premier school, and he's probably on the short list of best corners in the NFL. And he's a dog, right? So, it's a challenge for Marvin Harrison Jr. I hope it's a challenge for him this offseason to hear those things and to come out even better. Like we had it, confirmed on our show by a couple different people that he's going to attack the offseason. Albert Breer told me that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be fueled by this criticism and attack the offseason. I don't doubt that. But great corners shut down great players, and Marv's not even a great player yet. Like how many good players beat Devon Weatherspoon consistently? I don't think too many.
Yeah,
probably
Weatherspoon's not out ever on an island, right? I mean, he is a guy that plays primarily like inside, playing slot corner. I know they move him around a lot, and credit to him, he made that great play, the fourth K1 to throw the moon ball that was a pick 6 in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And Witherspoon's making plays every game for the Seattle Seahawks. The thing, he has every right to trash talk, but I thought the things he was saying was wrong. As far as that, he's just this guy that's going to go and win 50-50 balls.
No, that's not Marv right now at all.
Yeah, no. And I think he's more of a nuanced route runner than he's giving him credit for. I think he's discounting a lot just because he had a down compared to his expectations rookie year. And
who led the NFL in crossing route yardage? It was Marv.
It was Marv, absolutely.
That wasn't contested catches. That was
right.
He put who's the corner that plays for the Dolphins? Damon.
Jalen Ramsey.
He put Jalen Ramsey in a grave when we were there in Miami. He destroyed Jalen Ramsey. He beat a lot of good corners this year. Like the Cardinals did a disservice by his route tree, Marvin Harrison Jr. Everybody we talk with at the Super Bowl, everybody that we're going to talk with at the Combine tells us the same thing. His route tree wasn't good enough. They did not move him around. The minute that you realize that he cannot come in here and be the sacrificial X receiver that's like prime Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, they did not adjust. And that's the problem for Drew Petzing. They should have moved him around. They should have put him underneath, put him in motion, end arounds, quick passes. They didn't do any of that. They're like, you're just going to succumb to death by this route tree. And it wore on him. And he was depressed and he looked out of it. And that's the biggest indictment of Drew Petzing that anybody can have is his handling of Marvin this year. And they need to fix that. Get your what together.
Well, as much as this is bulletin board material for Marvin Harrison Jr., this needs to be bulletin board material for Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You can't let this guy chirp your top receiver here when he had a decent first year and him sitting like, he's nothing. He was one of the easier guys to guard. He's not that hard to guard. That's absurd. And you need to make sure that guy pays for it and circle on the schedule once it's released in May that you're going to make an emphasis to let Marvin Harrison make sure Devon Weatherspoon realizes how wrong he was. Like you have to next year, as much as anything, as much as the stakes are so high for this team to get to the playoffs and take its next step, it's got to be a Marvin Harrison Jr. redemption season. Like it has to be where people and all the things they're saying now, like you better get it in right now because you're not going to be able to say those things a year from now.
Like Devontae Adams, he was a second-round pick out of Fresno State, but remember his rookie year, people were like, he can't play in the NFL.
The guy he was sitting right next to, Damon asked him about JSN. He was basically like, hey, JSN, your first year stunk.
Yeah, Damon basically called JSN a bum. Hey, remember when you sucked as a rookie, JSN?
And he didn't really flinch at it. He was like, no,
he nodded.
Yeah,
in agreement.
He was like, yeah, you're right.
Big J.
What happened to Jackson Smith and Jigba this year? He went off. He had a monster season. But
you say that he only had 250 more yards than Marv, and people are like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Marv had more touchdowns than Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's the point. The perception is different because everybody, including the show, lauded Marv as just wide receiver football Jesus. And when he wasn't that, it immediately became, let's tear him down. He's a bum. He can't play. No, he probably just needs a little bit more seasoning, clearly. But Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, these other receivers that were taken in years prior, where CeeDee Lamb had 900 yards as a rookie, they're all given grace. Marv's an easy target for people, which is fine. He'll be better for it.
Garrett Wilson had 1,100 yards. And 1,100 yards. Wasn't Aaron Rodgers? He played every game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 1,100 yards. Marv had one more touchdown. Marv actually had more touchdowns both than JSN and Garrett Wilson this season.
I was told only touchdowns are the only thing that matters because when I compare Trey McBride to other people, they're like, well, he doesn't have enough touchdowns. And Marv doesn't have enough receiving yards. Here's who needs to be better: the play caller and the quarterback. And then third in that race is Marvin Harrison Jr. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is in a different offense, getting spam targets, he is sleepwalking his way to 1,000 yards. Now, that team might suck. Jacksonville, no one watched those games. The Giants were the most unwatchable product in the NFL. And people are just losing their mind at the end of the year when Neighbors is going off, hey, congrats. The Cardinals are trying to get into the playoffs. So it's hard. It was almost like trying to balance playing a rookie and developing a rookie quarterback, trying to make the playoffs. It was one step below that. We have this football Jesus wide receiver, Messiah, and we gotta make sure he's fed, but it goes against everything we want to do to get to the postseason. Right. And they couldn't handle it. They didn't know how to handle it, and that's why we were talking about just take Joe Alt, put him at right tackle, and Drew Petzing doesn't have to think.
But take a true leap of faith, right? For your, as you said, proclaimed football Jesus, Marvin Harrison Jr. Take that leap of faith, but put him in a true one, not. Hey, we're going to just try to throw him the ball in this situation, and it's going to be in a low percentage success spot. That's what we saw far too often. It's okay, we want to get Marv involved, but we're just going to kind of try to throw him this go route and this go ball and hope that he comes down with it. And it wasn't a recipe for success.
It's the most damning indictment of Drew Petzing of the entire season. Drew Petzing, who I think did some good this year, and probably is we're overly critical of the fan base because the passing game stunk for most of the year. That was his biggest fault. And we're going to try to get Drew Petzing on camera at the combine. We're going to ask to talk to him one-on-one. I would love to talk to Drew Petzing and ask him, would you like a mulligan this year as it relates to how you guys handled the development of Marvin Harrison Jr. and see what he says. Would you guys do some things differently this year? And if he's being honest, I guarantee he would say yes.
Yeah.
That game plan week 1 against Buffalo was a joke. He didn't have a catch. They have a target.
Well, I mean, they leaned on that first half performance where they were moving the football without Marvin Harrison Jr. It was mostly running the football where they scored on 3 consecutive drives, scored touchdowns on 3 consecutive drives. Everybody's super chats and more. Johnny's got reservations at Chili's, so we're going to go to break here and come back.
I do.
Johnny, I got to tell everybody about Cornbread Hemp, America's first ever USDA organic CBD company. one of our new partners. We're excited about it. And you can use the code PHNX right now. Use that code PHNX, and it's going to get you 30% off your first order. That's the good life with our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. Check it out. USDA certified organic, made from flour only. Never just the whole plant. You got third-party lab tested for potency, and you got the contaminants, making sure nothing's in there. Vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, no artificial flavors or preservatives as well with Cornbread Hemp. As I said, use that code PHNX. Cornbread offers free shipping and backs all products with their 30-day Better Life guaranteed. Take Cornbread's 2-minute quiz to get custom recommendations tailored to your needs, whether the aches, the pains, sleep support, or stress relief, whatever it may be, what you're seeking, Cornbread Hemp has got something for you. If you want to give Cornbread a try, they're offering PHNX listeners 30% off their first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/PHNX and use the code PHNX at checkout. It's cornbreadhemp.com/PHNX. Use the code PHNX for 30% off your first order.
Pour one out for football on Bet365, at least temporarily, until maybe the draft season. Love prop bets. But in the meantime, how about a little ice? How about a little hockey action? NHL early payout offer with our friends at Bet365. Download the app today, and if your team gains a 3-goal lead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners, how about that? So, 3-goal lead, you're cashing out early and often via the downloading of Bet365, the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. They also have a 100% parlay boost. Double your winnings on Bet365's 100% parlay boost. Again, PHNX365 when you sign up. And of course, we've got Slam Dunk Saturdays. Again, Slam Dunk Saturdays coming up here. Place a qualifying bet parlay, $20 or more on Saturday NBA games. Get up to 25 in bonus bets. Now, terms and conditions apply. You want to wager on the Phoenix Suns? Could be dicey. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov both for more info. And I want to welcome all of our friends watching on our tremendous streaming partners. Jump on over to gophnx.com. We got 726 people watching live on multiple platforms. Jump on over to YouTube. Jump on over. Drop us a like here as we jump into these super chats because we got one more week before the combine, Bo.
We do. We've got to kind of figure out. We're starting to see some moves. Like I saw the Dolphins released a cornerback today, Kendall Fuller. He's now a pre-free agent. Preston Smith.
Yeah.
Pass rusher. The Steelers just cut him today. So you're going to start to see some teams make some cuts here. And those players are available right away. Like those aren't guys that just you have to wait till March to sign. Much like J.J. Watt. Remember, he signed with the Cardinals before free agency. The Cardinals wanted to make a move and pick up one of those guys. They could certainly do it. I don't know if those are guys that end. None of those guys. Kendall Fuller might.
I was going to say, I think Johnny is going to be at a place about like a week from now where the Cardinals are going to sign some scraps and he's going to be like, this is it, guys. The big move. I just ordered myself a nothing bundt cake.
Kendall Fuller at 30 years old with his 0 picks last year. Perennial bust player for the Washington Commanders. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Here's what I would like.
He was pretty good.
Really good for the Commanders.
No. Here's what I would like. To not pay old DBs, play the young defensive backs.
Don't use this as an opportunity to go out. I was just using that as an example. I'm not saying Cardinals go out and get Kendall Fuller or Preston Smith.
30 years old. He just turned 30. He's fine. I'm not signing Kendall Fuller. No. Okay. Give Max Melton every chance. Give Starling Thomas every chance. You already have Sean Murphy-Bunting. Who the hell can Elijah Jones play? I don't even know what Elijah Jones looks like. Top 100 pick last year. Save all your monies, right? You've been good, Monti Ossenfort. You've eaten your vegetables. Cut some fat checks to some big men who can play, not mid-city. If they cut Christian Wilkins, if he was available this offseason for the Dolphins, Cardinals should have been in on that. Matabuke last year. Insert X defensive lineman. Are the Cardinals interested? Yes, they should be.
Preston Smith is 32. He had 4.5 sacks. You up for that?
Almost led the Cardinals in sacks. 4.5. You joke about 4.5. It's almost the bell of the ball here with AZ. More than Baron Browning. Panda with Wings, $5 super chat. Thoughts on Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss? I know nothing about him other than the report he had a meeting with the Cardinals at the Shrine Bowl. Well, this is definitely not me Googling Chris Paul Jr. in real time. He linebacker for Ole Miss, played for the Arkansas Razorbacks previously.
Yeah.
Off-ball linebacker, okay? Probably a day 3 guy. 6'1", 235 out of Georgia, 3.5 sacks and a pick. He looks like, what they want from an inside linebacker, right around 6 foot, 6'1".
Yeah, and I saw that in the chat quite a bit today. Like the Cardinals needed an off-ball linebacker, inside linebacker, and yeah, I think that's 3rd, 4th round is going to be the money rounds for that, and then free agency. I think they'll go throw some decent cap dollars at a guy like we've seen. Because you're white, Mac Wilson Sr. in back-to-back offseason. I think they keep that going for a 3rd straight offseason and get somebody in here with some experience to match with Mac Wilson Sr. and then maybe bring in a developmental guy to go in there with Owen Papo. But I don't think there's like any intention for Owen Papo to take over that significant snap role just yet.
Dana Ball Knower, $2. He got one of 3 route trees from X for 8+ games, talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. Zero creativity. Really disappointing. I think Drew Petzing is smart, and I think he's going to be the Cardinals OC long-term because Jonathan Gannon believes in him. It was receiver malpractice. The Cardinals don't have a 1,000-yard receiver under Drew Petzing in 2 years. Can he really afford to make that 3 years in a row? And they're going to lean on Trey McBride and say, look what we did. Every team in the NFL could have 1,000 yards with Trey McBride because he's a flipping freak show. He's the best tight end in the NFL.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be sitting here talking about, can Michael Wilson play? We know he can play. No excuse for Michael Wilson not to have 800 yards this year.
Tony, 1999. Very generous super chat. Thank you, Tony. Happy early birthday, Johnny. Did you see Alex Clancy talking about trading Marv for Parsons? I actually followed Bo over to PHNX from Locked On and still listen sometimes. I don't love that take, though. Your thoughts?
Alex was the encapsulation of like the Joker setting the money on fire in the background. Like he was just that made me laugh.
Let me read you the tweet that Tony's referencing here from my old pal Clancy. He said, quote, my buddy Marcus Mosher, who's a very respected NFL analyst.
That's Clancy's
33rd team. He covers the Cowboys.
Okay.
We had a great hypothetical Arizona Cardinals and Dallas Cowboys trade conversation on Locked On Cards. Obviously, it won't happen, but fun to discuss.
Why is that your voice for Clancy, first of all? I don't know what that voice is. Continue.
Arizona sends Marvin Harrison Jr. their 1st round pick and a 2026 3rd round pick, while Dallas will send Micah Parsons and a 3rd this year. Who says no?
Why don't we Alex, we'll just get the deed to State Farm Stadium. We'll send that over to Jerry Jones as well. We'll give him the rights to Larry Fitzgerald's Hall of Fame bus. We'll do that too. Maybe we'll get Pat Tillman's statue moved to Dallas. What else can we give Dallas for Micah Parsons? Yeah, I bet your boy loved that from 33rd team. He's just like, it's like Steve Keim doing the D-Hop trade with Bill O'Brien. Yeah, sure, let's do it. That's the equivalent of.
I've never seen somebody ratioed so hard outside of this tweet. And I told Alex that. Like, I quote tweeted and I said, rest in peace, my friend Clancy. He's been ratioed to death because
you amplified it, by the way, when you did that.
It needed to be. It needed to be. Sometimes you need to be held accountable for things like this. He got 20 likes and 122 replies.
How many
quote replies were not nice replies?
How many quote tweets? Is there too many to count?
There's 20 retweets. Let's see. Quotes.
20 retweets. Wow.
Most of them retweets, and they weren't very kind.
Got it. Quote tweets. Yeah.
As far as retweets, there was 2. One from one from the Locked On AZ Cards account. The other one was from a guy named Derek.
One from the account that Alex may or may not run. Oh man, that's good. I needed that today. I needed to hear that. What a good. That should have been a full segment today. It was that tweet and the screen captures from that. Listen, Alex is authentic. That's why we
Yeah.
love him. That's a horrendous take. That is one of the worst takes. Are people just think Marv can't play? It's like, come on now.
And like the Dallas side of this, they were upset. Like you think you're just gonna give away Micah Parsons for 1 first-round pick? It's like, hello, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the 4th overall selection just last year.
Old.
He had a better rookie season than CeeDee Lamb. It's like, if you would you have traded CeeDee Lamb in a first after his rookie year?
No. He's 22. Micah Parsons is gonna be 27. So like, you get 8 more years of Marv before he turns 30.
It doesn't make sense for either side. It's like you bring in Marv and you've got CeeDee Lamb, but you have a hole at pass rush. You trade Marv and you get your pass rush hole filled, and then who's going to catch the football from Kyler Murray outside of Trey McBride?
And you get older. Like, part of the reason we were fired up about Marv is it's like the next Fitz. You get 10 years. We saw how quickly it went south with J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. It's like you get a couple years, and then those guys. That's why trading a first this year is dicey for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. Just a horrendous take. But I'm so glad we got to discuss it. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for that generous super chat. Monday's show will be predominantly a celebration of my birthday. Ryan Carley, $2 super chat. JV, Damon, Dawg, SD, Shane Diefenbach, and then Bo Brock, 40-yard competition on Discord.
I got to be honest. I think I'm cooking you guys.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
I just think current state of shape, I don't know. Shane's a big dude.
I think I finished last.
I'm happy to try.
I'm in for it.
I will do it.
Not that my time would be like anything to write home about, but 5.2. I'm thinking like a 5.2.
What we should do is we should do it, get the real times, and then manipulate those. And we still finish where we finish, but then you guys will never know how truly slow we all are and unathletic we are.
Yeah, I will care less about the time and more about just trying to beat my peers. You know what I mean?
You really think you could beat you think you could beat Damon?
Nah.
He's alive.
He is fast. He's real fast. I would like to see how these old legs could do against the young buck like Damon, Dawg. I'd love to try it out.
When's the last time you ran?
When you and I ran at the combine 2 years ago. No. That's the last time. I jog outside.
You were carrying a little bit more weight there. You were a little bulky for your combine appearance.
Yeah, I've been trying to get in the gym. I thought they were gonna let me on the bench press that year.
We'll put something together. Yeah, we'll do a little 40 competition.
You'll
Maybe
tell how
40s. Who can drink a 40 fastest?
Well, I won't be winning. I will get last at that. Here's the deal: is you can tell how much time we're gonna put into it if you just see us in a gravel parking lot. It's thrown together in a day.
No, we'll go to a local high school field.
We should do that.
All right, let's do it. Brian,
40 comp after steak in Indy. I've already been mentally preparing for that. I've been taking in a lot of red meat ahead of actually, you know what? What's today? Today's Friday. So we're less than 2 weeks away from St. Elmo's retribution for your boy.
I'd say that levels the playing field a little bit. Because I'm not running very well off after a St. Elmo's visit.
I have a bit of a conundrum right now. One of the things that you enjoy with your St. Elmo's, obviously your shrimp cocktail and your steak dinner, is the St. Elmo's whiskey and Coke that has caffeine in it.
It's tough, Bo.
Also has more than 10 grams of sugar.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to let us. They're gonna have to let us slide for that.
Sounds like tequila soda lime for Johnny.
Oh, it's sick.
With Shane Diefenbach, and Bo, maybe ask if they got a Coke Zero. Is that what has zero caffeine?
I love that Johnny's like, no, I won't make an exception to eat cake on my birthday, but I need those rum and Cokes from St. Elmo's.
They are good. They are tasty.
Of the gods.
Real one.
I think we just have to come to an agreement on that. Yeah. I'm getting a cake for my birthday. My kids will eat it. And I'll just do this.
If I have to work out every day, you guys are not drinking.
We'll give you the day off working out.
I'm just saying I need a piece of that. Break me off a piece of that.
I'll give you. We'll get that night, and then the corresponding day, next day, you'll get off.
I'm with it, but I also kind of want to just go 100 balls to the wall.
We'll talk through it. Derek Harmon, super chat from our guy Mike. What do you think about him? I think he would be a great addition to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not sure a top 20 pick yet. I mean, he's over 6'5".
Yeah,
and I remember him being the best player on Oregon this year when everybody thought Oregon was going to win the national championship. So, I mean, how many great defensive tackles I know historically have come out of Oregon? A ton.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those guys where it's kind of a sliding scale as far as where they think he's going to go. Could he be late first round? Can he be a guy that's going to be second? Could he fall as low as the third round? But it's also just kind of a testament to how deep this class is, that Derek Harmon, who probably would be no doubt about a first round pick last year, he's going to be there day two. And if the Cardinals, if they don't get somebody in the interior of the defensive line in day one, would they pull the trigger on a guy like that? I think he'll be on their radar.
Can't draft Derek Harmon when you got Justin Jones at home and Bilal Nichols. Everybody drop a like on this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Brian in the chat says, I feel like we need a pick of every play after St. Elbo. Need accountability in the diehard chat. You're going to get video. If we could live stream it, we would. But the only way to get exclusive access to basically Bo, Damon, and I's private life is to be in the Discord. We're sending daily videos of our struggles. I can't even imagine.
I wasn't struggling today. Mine was and you were thriving in your video.
There was a lot of pain behind my eyes in that video. When we get to the combine, it's going to be ratcheted up. You got to be a diehard though.
As St. Elmo's is catching on to how big of nothings we are. We were in the normal restaurant upstairs the first year. The next year we were down in the cellar below. I think we might be outside eating.
You don't think the cellar's more exclusive?
You think it is?
I felt kind of big time walking downstairs there. I felt like that was where they were putting all the NFL.
I didn't see one famous person down there.
I think it lost its luster like once Johnny started cutting his steak into little bitty pieces like a child.
Enjoy, get those jokes in. 12 more days, get those jokes in. Smart ass.
The first year we were there, or at least I was there, Goodell actually was in the basement. So I guess there you go. Damon's proved correct.
What notables will we see? What good content will you see on PHNX Sports here on YouTube this weekend? We got any cool stuff dropping this weekend, Bo Brock?
We do. We continue to drop lots of great content from from the Super Bowl. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Make sure you like this video and any of the videos that you check out, whether it's us or PHNX Suns, PHNX D-backs, PHNX or AZ Wildcats. They had a great show today at one of the safeties from the Wildcats. Genesis Smith, right? He joined Damon and Kevin. Yeah, great interview there. So make sure you're checking that out all here on YouTube and, of course, wherever you find podcasts. But look, all you lovers out there, have a great night tonight with your Valentines. Make sure you be safe. Get those Waymos. Get that Waymo 1 downloaded and be safe and enjoy yourselves. And then we're going to be celebrating the man, the myth, the legend come Monday. That's right. Dana, Johnny White, a rice cake of all things. No chips.
Had dark chocolate on it. 0 sugar. It tastes basically like cardboard. It's not good. It's from.
Wait a second. You had dark chocolate on a rice cake?
It was from Trader Joe's. Yeah. They're like 6 calories. There's nothing.
Johnny, come on. Enough of that. I'm cold turkey and caffeine, my guy. You can't be sneaking in dark chocolate.
I'm bringing the boom here. I'm fired up.
You said 0 grams sugar.
It's got dude. Okay. I'll hand deliver.
You can only have like baking chocolate. That's all I'll allow.
That's basically what this is. It's basically like the stuff they use for asphalt. That's what I feel like I'm eating right now. It's not good. I haven't had sugar since Monday. All right, friends. Do I look like a man who's had sugar since Monday? I have not. And like, I feel like I'm getting worse. Like Bo's like, he's entering like the white light on the end of the tunnel. He's like, I feel great. I feel worse than I did pre-cutting out sugar. Is that normal?
No, I don't think it's a good sign. But what's a great sign is we're back Monday. And of course, if there's breaking news, we will have an emergency podcast. But in the meantime, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.